Rudy.
Rudy. Yes, a true Irishman.
So you're probably wondering how this movie is a Thanksgiving movie. You're probably, and there's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be a lot of jabber of sports analogy, and this is why I'm here, people. Welcome to another episode of the Buttery Show, and tonight we're reviewing a 1990s classic based off actual events. Rudy. I am Leo, aka Leo Rudy, and I got Mike, aka McGamji.
It's a Sean Astin reference, you know.
Oh my god! Anyways,
I tell you, Mr. Frodo, you need to understand your references better.
Real quick. Thank you guys so much. This is in honor of Thanksgiving. We are reviewing Rudy. I will explain why this movie is an actual Thanksgiving movie in a minute. Before we get into everything, thank you guys so much for tuning into the Buttery Show. I know it is in the East Coast, it is midnight, so thank you guys for staying up and watching this all-American classic of this short-ass boy who had a dream to play for Notre Dame.
Is he fresh?
Real talk.
Is he fruity? We'll find out.
Real talk. Does Rudy count as a short king?
Yes. Yes, he does. And let me tell you why. Because he is short. He gets a lot of women throughout this film. And in some cases, the women are taller than him.
Okay.
And because Sean Astin is a ginger in real life, that also makes him a leprechaun.
All right. I'm going to hell for what I'm about to post. I'm going to hell for what I'm about to show y'all real quick. So Mike, you are confirming once and for all that Rudy is indeed a short king, because Sean Astin's probably short in real life. All I have to say is this: who's a little short king? Who's a little short king? Yes, you are.
Drink, throw, drink.
Okay. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe to the Buttery Show, people. Be sure to follow our sister channel, Morphin Network, as well. We're about a third way done with putting up all our interviews from Morphicon. And I will say this. Here, this is just a plug. Someone did DM me earlier this week asking, are we going to review the Tubi Power Rangers movie? Only one way to find out, because it might be a Christmas miracle if we actually review that.
Okay, hold on. Give me a minute. Give me a goddamn minute for 1 second. I want to look into something for a moment. Actually, now I can do it this way. Okay, so let me tell you something. Right now, on the Morphin Network, we are at 2.62 thousand subscribers. If we get 2.75 subscribers, which means we need another 130 subscribers, then we will do the review. But also, do not forget, someone owes us 2 dances because we made it past 2,000. Yes, we are still on this.
Oh my god. Okay, fine, whatever. Let's get to it.
We got past 1.5K. We've made it past 2K. Okay?
Rudy is an American biographical pick of sports film from 1993, starring our boy Sean Astin, Jon Favreau, Ned Beatty, Charles S. Sutton, and Vince Vaughn. We'll get to that in a minute. And this is actually based off a true story that happened back in the 1970s, where Daniel Rudy Ruettiger played for Notre Dame after going through hell to get to Notre Dame University, which is one of the top 10 colleges when it comes to football. So to all our listeners out there who are at the University of Notre Dame. Shout outs to y'all. And thank you guys for always watching. Anyways, so real quick, before we get into when we saw this movie, let's talk about some of the cast members. Let's start with our boy. Where's our little short king? Sean Astin. For those y'all who don't know who Sean Astin is, this man has been
Goonies never say die.
Exactly. He's
And
been in
as
the
you might have noticed from my name tag, yes, he also played the greatest character that's not a wizard in all of the Shire. That is Samwise Ganges.
Yes.
It ain't about Frodo. It ain't about Merry. It ain't about Pimpin. It ain't about Bilbo. It's all about the real short chat himself, Samwise. Not to be confused with Samwell, which is a different fictional universe.
So Sean Astin has been in many movies, such as The Goonies, Like Father, Like Son, Staying Together, Memphis Belle, Toy Soldiers, The Willies, Where the Days Take You, Encino Man, Rudy, of course, Boy Meets Girl, Dish Dogs, Icebreakers, all 3 Lord of the Rings movies, Balto 3. Yes, there was a Balto 3, and I just found it out just now. 51st Dates, Marilyn Hodgkins, Ballroom Dancing, What Love Is, Click, the final season, Justice League War as the voice of Shazam. Matter of fact, he was in all of the New 52 DC animated movies, playing the voice.
And very recently, he was in the independent film The Shift, which got a lot of indie hype. Yeah, I know it stars Neil McDonough as the villain, and goddamn it, Neil McDonough's always playing villains in like such obscure films like Paul Blart 2.
We need to do more of Neil McDonough's filmography, because he's in, one of them is a movie I'm not looking forward to doing if we have to, and that's Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li, and I will fight.
He played M. Bison.
I will fight you if we have to do it, and there's no libations involved.
Okay. You know what really messed me up about Legend of Chun-Li? That Michael Clark Duncan played Balrog instead of M. Bison, because let's be honest, Michael Clark Duncan, he gives off more M. Bison vibes than Balrog vibes. I mean, the dude was freaking Kingpin.
That is true.
And he was also Kilowog.
That's also true. Real quick. Sean Astin was also in a whole bunch of TV shows, just to name a few. He was in Angel, Jeremiah. He was also in Pen Zero, Alphas. He played the voice of Raphael throughout the Ninja Turtles, the Nickelodeon Ninja Turtles cartoon, the 2012 remake. He was also in The Librarians, Justice League Action. He was in The Big Bang Theory at one point. He was also in Supergirl during for a couple episodes.
For 2 episodes. And last but not least, he was in Stranger Things season 2 as Bob. If he was in 2020 for Supergirl, that means that he was in the 5th season. Oh man, he dodged a bullet on that one, because we all know that season 4 was the worst one.
Wait, is that the one? Hold up.
That's the one with the 2 Power Rangers and one of them's a racist. Yes.
See, I wasn't gonna say that. I was gonna say, isn't that the one with Star Killer and Darth Maul? See, you went there. I wasn't gonna not say that Sky, Tate, and Tyler were in the movie. I was in the show. I was gonna say Star Killer, but okay. Next, we got Ned Beatty. Now, Ned Beatty, God rest his soul, we lost Ned Beatty, I think a while ago. I think it was like last year or so. Yeah, it was a few years ago. We lost Ned Beatty a few years ago. This man was in
Deliverance.
He was in Deliverance. This man has had a legendary career. He was in the first 2 Superman movies. He was
as Otis.
As Otis.
My favorite character.
He was also Lotso in Toy Story 3.
Toy Story.
Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
He was in Shooter. He was in Thunder Pants, Life, Cookie's Fortune, Rango, Rampart, The Big Ass, and Baggage Claim. He was also in a boatload of shows. I'm just gonna
Charlie
name a few.
Wilson's War.
Dolly. He was in Roseanne. He was in Roseanne. He was what do you call it? He was John Goodman's daddy, the one who cheated on his mama.
So what you're saying is that both Sean Astin and Ned Beatty were both in the Roseanne universe.
The Connor universe. And yes, they were.
The original show was called Roseanne, so
that's true. We can't. We actually do have to address that. Next, we also got the Black All-Star himself, Charles S. Dutton. I love me some Charles S. Dutton. For many of our younger viewers, if you don't know who Charles S. Dutton is, you need to do your homework. He was in this. He is a very prolific theater actor. He got his start in Hollywood by being a theater actor. He was in movies such as Alien 3, Menace to Society, Rudy, Surviving the Game. He was in. I can't remember the name of the movie. It was a movie about the damn piano or something. I can't.
Well, he was also in Black Dog, Gothica,
A Time to Kill.
The Third Nail.
I see you. He was in he was in The Express, which was another prolific football movie that came out starring Dennis Quaid. Which, by the way, I'm watching that horror movie. Well, I don't think I'm gonna call it horror movie. You know that movie Substance with Demi Moore that just came out recently?
No.
Oh,
I know of it, but I haven't seen it.
My girl and I were watching it. We need to review that movie, and honestly, we gotta bring either Jen and Noemi onto that because we need their take on that. But anyways, but Charles S. Dutton was also well known for being in one of a very popular '90s show that I'm thankfully is getting it's getting rejuvenated. It's called.
Is it Are You Afraid of Dark?
No, it's called Rock.
Yeah, he was there for 3 seasons.
Yes. Oh, and I remember the movie that I was talking about with Audrey Woodard. It was The Piano Lesson, which is based off a play. If you that you can read, you can find it at a bookstore, and they made it into a TV movie that was really good. He was also in Oz, Homicide: Life in the Streets, The Corner, Ed. He was in The Sopranos for one episode. He was in The Practice, The L Word, Mayday, Without a Trace, House, My Name is Earl,
CSI New York. Wait, who did he play in My Name is Earl? Was he the priest?
He was Reggie in the Get a Job episode.
Oh yeah, with the 3-parter in season 2. Goddamn, that was such a great episode.
He was in The Following, and I love that show, The Following. And the last thing he was in was Bessie, and I think Charles S. Dutton is recently retired, so God bless him. Like you've done your time, King. We appreciate you. Next we got you're probably wondering who this magnificent hunk of meat is right next to Sean Astin, and that is
Sean Bloody Favreau, aka Happy freaking Gilmore. I'm just kidding. No, he's Happy from Iron Man and nothing else.
He was our boy Jon Favreau, who is pretty much carrying Star Wars staggering to the finish line. This man is the executive producer. Is pretty much the producer. I think the executive producer of the majority of all of the Star Wars properties. Yeah. The Book of the Book of Boba, The Mandalorian, Acolytes, which is a good show. Don't get it twisted. It's a good show. Obi-Wan, Ahsoka.
If I haven't seen it, I can't say it's good or bad. Can't do one, can't do the other.
and Tales of the Jedi, and is going to be in charge of the next 3 Star Wars movies. Hopefully,
I doubt it.
I know
Executive
at some
produce
point
maybe, but I don't think he's going to like direct them.
yeah.
I would say the one thing he did not do so hot in was the live action Lion King, because it's a live action Disney movie. Like,
I'm gonna say this right now. Don't let my girl hear you say that. She loves Lion King. She will fight you.
I'm sorry, but like I could not get into that film, and it's one of the few live action Disney films that I watched in a theater.
Real quick, that is well. I would say this: Little Mermaid was really good. I'll leave it at that. Real quick, Favreau
I gave up after Mulan.
Oh, trust me, Little Mermaid's better. And this is coming from someone who I thought I was going to give up too. I got dragged to go see the Little Mermaid live action, and you know what? I'm glad I was. It was actually good. It was actually good, minus 2 parts, but other than that, it was actually good. I would probably give it a 7 out of 10, and that's a good 7.
You do know, for me, 7 is minimally passing, right?
Bro, you've given 7s to movies that sucked. Don't you talk to me about that. Anyways, real quick, Favreau has been a director, producer, and executive producer. He directed and helped. Was also in Elf. He was in Zathura. He was the director of Zathura, the first 2 Iron Man movies, Cowboys and Aliens.
He played Foggy in Daredevil.
Yeah. He played Foggy in the original Daredevil movie. He is going to be he's going to be directing the Mandalorian movie that comes out in a couple of years. Favreau's done it all. He's been an actor, producer, executive producer, and director, and is someone that I met in person last year.
Really?
I was really oh yeah. Story time real quick.
You lucky son of a gun.
I can't tell you where, because I think I know exactly where he lives, and I would never trespass on his property, because people, remember, actors and directors are people too. Favreau was walking around the corner. I said, and I normally like saying hi to strangers for whatever reason. My girl and I did a double take, looked at him. He saw us while he's on the phone and just did this. And I'm like, and he smiled, and he laughed when I did it. I'm like,
so what you're saying is he pulled the Steve Rogers on you.
Yes, yes, he did. You want to know who else pulled the Steve Rogers on me? What's that fool's name? X-Files guy.
Duchovny.
I met Duchovny at El Cholo's, the original El Cholo's off of Pico. I saw while we were walking. I was walking out. I paid the bill. I saw him. I said hi. I double take, and he did the exact. He did a Steve Rogers. He was like,
yeah. See for me, I've met Duchovny several times because he was filming several scenes of Californication in my area. Like literally where my house is, it's like our block was closed off to film a couple of scenes from Californication. So like he was like there. So I'm like, oh, hello, Dave.
Anyways, yeah. And last and certainly not least, so Vince Vaughn was in this.
Yes, he was.
I did not recognize Vince Vaughn because of one thing, and I can say this: that big old forehead of Vince Vaughn was covered in more hair when he was much younger. I did not know that was Vince Vaughn until you showed me, and I'm like, "That's Vince Vaughn." Mm-hmm. Vince Vaughn. Look, I like Vince Vaughn. I don't. The man has not said anything stupid to me or to anyone else, so I still like Vince Vaughn. This man has been a whole bunch of things. Lost World. He was the best part of Lost World Jurassic Park. I'm just gonna say that right now. He was in Domestic Disturbance with John Travolta. He was in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Wedding Crashers, Old School. He did a lot of comedy stuff.
He was also that one movie with Jen Aniston.
The Breakup, where real talk, he was wrong. When as a child, a teenager, I'm like, man, screw that. Vince, you deserve that. And then as an adult, I'm like, you effed up. You effed up. She was trying to give you a chance. You effed up, Vince.
It's like when you're an adult, like you start to realize in 500 Days of Summer, both Tom and Zoe were both in the wrong.
Yeah,
they were both in the wrong. It's like some people think, oh no, she led him on, like he deserves better. He's such a sweet guy. No, he's a creep. But also, she let the creep on. So they're both the villains of their own stories. Yeah. And they don't owe each other anything. But the point is, it's like, man, I gotta rewatch The Breakup. But one of my most favorite Vince Vaughn movies has to be Wedding Crashers with Owen Wilson.
Let me tell you something. Pre-adolescence, when I was 12 years old. You want to know what I always wanted to do when I was 12 years old after watching Wedding Crashers? Crash a wedding. For whatever. Listen, they made it look super fun, and obviously the results. But keep in mind, I was 12 years old. I didn't know any better. I didn't know that crash a wedding, you go get your ass whooped.
Well, they did get their ass whooped towards the end of the film.
Yeah, I know. Owen Wilson got his ass whooped. But like I said, like twice. Yeah, exactly, twice. But yeah, that's a lot of actors. Honestly, the rest of the actors, actually, there is one more actor, and that's the actor who plays Rudy's brother, who's a complete a-hole to him, and that's Scott Benjaminson. I did not realize. I was wondering where the hell the guy went after this movie. He still was He stayed acting. In fact, his most recent show is Chicago PD. So you know what? God bless, bro. I remember correctly. I think he's the one with the voice. Actually, no, he's not the one with the voice. Well, I think if I remember correctly, he is the one with the with the raspy voice. I gotta look at that again.
Oh, also the priest that helps Rudy out is played by Robert Prosky, who you may remember from Mrs. Doubtfire as the TV executive.
Yes.
Yeah, and he was also in Christine. That was a classic film. One of my favorite. That was one of my favorite Stephen King films. He was also in Hanky Panky, The Heist, Gremlins 2. Yeah, Grandpa Fred. He was in the Hoffa Miracle on 34th Street. Yes, the one with Mara Wilson. So that's two Mara Wilson movies that had Robert Prosky back to back. Also, The Chamber, Mad City, I See You, and The Skeptic. And as far as TV goes, he was in Cheers. Yeah, and Frasier as two different characters.
Real quick, I was wrong. Scott Benjaminson is not the raspy voice guy, but he did guest star twice in the show. But there you go. Real quick, because we've been talking a lot about all these actors. When was the first time you watched Rudy? Go ahead.
Literally 36 hours ago. I mean, look, on social media, you might see clips of movies. So I did see the part where he tried to get on the bus and the priest would let him on the bus on the reels and stuff. But I didn't know this was the movie Rudy. I knew the movie Rudy existed, not just because of the Robot Chicken skit, but there were a lot of like football movies in the 90s about like underdog kids trying to tackle that gridiron and win the college or NFL title. Some of them are historical, some fictional, some historical fictional. Yeah. So yeah, I've watched a total of 2 times, and the most recently was literally just before we started recording. So here we are.
So I watched this movie when I was in 6th grade. So this is like back in 07. And obviously substitute teacher came in because regular teacher was sick. So instead of watching Home Alone and Sandlot, which we watched on repeat during whenever we had a free day or the teacher was sick, we put in Rudy. And everyone in the class laughed their ass off when Rudy's friend died and did that swanton like he was Jeff Hardy.
You would see that on the backdraft.
But no, backdraft, we gotta do that movie at one point. Anyways, but no, I enjoyed watching Rudy. Now, and keep in mind, I don't remember too much about Rudy, so going into this movie, the last time I watched it as an adult was last year when I tried to show one of my clients Rudy, because he's a huge sports fan. But I had to leave, so when we watched like the first half hour, which was Rudy leaving after Pete's funeral and then going to Notre Dame. So there you go. Overall, like I said, the movie is a classic and it is a Thanksgiving movie. Now, the reason why it's a Thanksgiving movie, I'm going to explain. While the movie does not take place on Thanksgiving, the movie touches on one big thing in America, and that is football during that season. The season where Rudy takes place is during like your Thanksgiving football special. You also have the Turkey Day Bowl, which was a thing in some colleges around the Midwest. So there were times where if there was a college football game, it would probably be also on Thanksgiving Day as well, and people would go with their families to go see that game. That's technically the reason why Rudy is considered a Thanksgiving classic, because it reminded people of those times where there were college football teams and football games that took place during Thanksgiving.
You know what would really help is if some syndicated television channel would play Rudy for 24 hours on Thanksgiving. You know, kind of like Christmas Story and It's a Wonderful Life.
I would assume that I would say AMC should totally do that. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
or at least
let's
TNT.
get started with Rudy. Rudy is not that big. So this movie is like about 2 hours long. Honestly, it really isn't. It's like a breeze. So Rudy is a small man, played by Sean Astin. You know, just a small man in the heart of America. So Rudy is, during the 60s, Rudy's this little kid, literally a short king, okay? He dreams of going to Notre Dame because his entire family loves watching the Notre Dame football games. So now he wants to play football and go to Notre Dame.
And everyone laughs at him.
Because he's short. He can't do anything. We'll get to that later.
I don't want to be an outer center. Well, that's the only thing you could do, Rudy.
You're short. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't want to wait for his life to be over. And he wants to go to Notre Dame. So we fast travel to high school. Rudy is a senior and is potentially his last time playing football, because afterwards, the majority of people who go to if you don't go to college, you're working in the heart of America, which is the steel mills and the factories, and the coal
mills,
and the coal mills, the coal mines, and all of that. Rudy's brothers and his daddy work in the steel mill, so it is inevitable for him and his best friend Pete to work there.
Yeah, and I love that scene where like he and Pete as little kids are like he's like replaying the entire game verbatim, like while they were in bed together. It's like damn, like Rudy's like the Rain Man of American football.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, because of his knowledge. And the thing is, the guy himself, Daniel Ruettiger, is very knowledgeable, especially when it comes to college football during the 60s and during the 70s. Like, this movie honestly stays true to his biography of him going to Notre Dame and playing football. There are some things that they had to exaggerate because, you know, Hollywood. We'll get to those in a minute, because I actually did bring up some facts about the movie. But Rudy does want to go to Notre Dame, but he goes to a private Catholic school, he goes to a Catholic school, and they're like, "Well, Rudy, your grades suck. You're not gonna listen. Some people are just made to go to college. Others, like you, are not made to go to college. You know."
And the lack of bedside manner that priest had on that bus scene, though.
See, I would have look dead ass. There's two scenes where I would have just lost my crap. And
see, he could have simply said, "Yeah, see, I have a roster of everyone that's registered to go to Notre Dame, and you're not on the list," and just kept it at that. But no, he went out of his way to smack talk Rudy. Like, he could have just said, You're not on the list, you know? Like Harry Potter, like when they went to the Shrieking Shack, it's like he couldn't get the signature. What are you gonna do? Harry was stuck in Hogwarts, while Ron and Hermione are having the trip of a lifetime.
Yeah. So he tries to go, like you said, and he gets rejected to get on the bus. And then we fast forward a few years later. So Rudy is now 22. Him and Pete are working in the steel mill, right? Mm-hmm. He gets him a Notre Dame jacket because he still wants Rudy to accomplish his dream. Meanwhile, the world around Rudy has already evolved. His girlfriend wants to get a house. And keep in mind, Rudy has saved up money. He saved up $1,000, which back in the 1960s, 1970s,
it was good money.
It was good money. If making $5 an hour back in the day, you can pay a mortgage making $5 an hour.
You know what's fun? You know what's funny? Out of curiosity, I actually looked up how what year what's it called? How much a halfpenny from a certain time period was worth because of that movie Wacko's Wish.
Yeah.
And turns out a halfpenny from that time period, present day, is worth $1.9 million present day. And not present day. I mean in the 1990s when the film actually came out.
Yeah.
Because I want to be very specific. Yeah, so it's like half a penny is worth $500,000. But yeah, so it's like, oh, you got two of them. You got two of them. I wish for 2 halfpennies. Somehow this one coin is going to stimulate the entire economy of my town. The point being is $1,000 to get a house. But after Pete tragically passed away because of overload in the furnace.
All you saw was Pete do a freaking swanton bomb when he was Jeff Hardy.
Which cut to a funeral like it's freaking Stephen King's It or John Carpenter. No. Wes Craven's Dream Master.
Oh, gee, yeah. So I don't know why I'm laughing about this man's best friend dying in the movie. But it was jokes. I'm not gonna lie. So Rudy decides after Pete died and after Pete got into a fight with his brother because his brother kept telling him to stop, try to live your dream. You just gotta be reality, man. Rudy does go to college. He goes to South Bend. He goes to Holy Cross Community College. And the father there is like, listen, if you do a semester, you do really well, you can apply to go to Notre Dame and stuff, and you can fulfill your dream of being a football player. Because originally the father was like, wait, you're here because your best friend died? Like, if you want to be a priest, like, no, I want to be a priest. I want to go to Notre Dame to play football. He's like, all right, well, look, check this out. You got to go to community college first. Community college, honestly, is not that expensive. Mm-hmm. But he spent all his money to get to Notre Dame, to get to that college and stuff. So he's broke and poor. Well, broke and homeless. Mm-hmm. He's like, listen, you do well this semester and the next semester, continue to do well. Apply to Notre Dame. And so that's what Rudy does. And he also meets Charles S. Dutton's character. fortune. He's like, listen, I need a job. He's like, all right, look, you work with me, you're working minimum wage. That's it. Okay. He's like, all right, perfect. Now real quick, to give you guys like a little fact check, some facts. So $1,000 in the 1960s today is the equivalent of almost $10,000. If I'm gonna be exact, it's $9,887.02. First one. Number two, $5 an hour back in the 1960s and potentially in the 1970s, if he was still gonna be working on the steel mills, is the equivalent of making $53.28 an hour.
Damn.
Inflation, people. Inflation's a whack job.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and what's minimum wage right now? 20 in California?
No, minimum wage in California is 18.
Huh. I thought it was going to go up to 20.
It probably is. But now you're telling me that McDonald's employee, listen, no offense to McDonald's employees, but a McDonald's employee is going to be making just as much as someone who works at a school. And I'm not just talking like a teacher. I'm talking about like staff members at a school.
Mm-hmm.
Let that sink in, people. Let that sink in. It's the reason why our groceries are too damn expensive. So, Rudy, going through Holy Cross Community College, meets Jon Favreau's character. Jon Favreau's trying to help him because he realized that Rudy is dyslexic, which is probably the reason why he wasn't all that keen in the books in high school. So he's helping him out.
And honestly, I'm not surprised. Like because like in my experience, I've seen a lot of kiddos who have dyslexia and weren't diagnosed with it. So people would teachers would always misdiagnose the student as, oh, they're either not studying properly or they're not vibing with the content, or in some cases, if the student is bilingual, they might think it's an English language development issue, or it's like, oh no, they're like on the emerging phase of the ELD spectrum. And of course, I would have to ask, well, if they're only on the emerging phase, then why are they speaking and listening very fluently, but they're only reading and writing horribly?
Exactly.
It's like you're reading and writing on an emerging level, but you're speaking and listening on a bridging level. See, like I know this stuff because like therapists gotta know shit.
You also gotta keep in mind a lot of athletes, not a lot, but some athletes are also dyslexic too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know who else was dyslexic? Benjamin Franklin.
Yes, he was.
You know who else was dyslexic? Rubber Band Man. You thought I was gonna make that Static Shock reference?
Funny enough, I was just talking about Static Shock the other day with my coworker.
Mm-hmm.
No, you know who else is dyslexic? Max Lopez from the George Lopez show. Yeah. And George Lopez is dyslexic too in the show.
Yep.
So Rudy goes to Holy Cross. He is doing well. He's superseding expectations. He's getting B's and A's. He's working with Charles S. Dutton. Charles S. Dutton actually gives him a key to the maintenance room.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Oh, yeah, you get it. But he finds his way into the maintenance room, and there is a bed. Charles S. Dutton doesn't live there. He has a house because he makes pretty decent money working as the maintenance guy. But he needs it for he does have that bed just in case his sciatica flares up.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have sciatica, but I've been told that having sciatica is a pain in the butt.
Let me tell you something. Remember Morphicon 2022?
Yes. See, I wasn't going to say it, but go ahead.
I had sciatica during that entire convention.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you may not notice when you watch our interviews.
Oh, my boy was in pain.
For all 3 days.
But you was a trooper. I was a trooper. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, you conducted probably the best interview of our channel, and this is coming from this is coming from me.
Yeah,
I think a lot of my and honestly, I think a lot of our interviews are really good, especially people who have improved. You, sir, have probably the best interview on our entire channel. Soak that in. So Rudy gets rejected several times. Now, and he goes back home to his family at one point and tells them, yo, I'm at Holy Cross. I'm trying to get in Notre Dame to play football. His dad's ignoring him. His brother's ignoring him. And you find out his oldest brother is now with his then girlfriend, who originally was going to be buying a house with. Let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something.
For the streets!
Ain't no way. Rudy was too nice. In my household, if that happened, I am fighting. I'm going to fight my brother. I don't give a damn. Hell no. Hell no. There's a bro code. There's a bro code.
Literal bro code.
That's a definite bro. Okay, look. For those y'all who want to know what there are parts of the bro code. Parts of the bro code. You don't have relations with your best friend's daughter. If you have a daughter, if y'all have a daughter and she's of it, if your best friend's a daughter who's now of age, 18 or whatever, and higher, whatever, no, you watched her grow up. No. Same thing. And yes, I know. Like, well, what about if a guy, have relations with their mama's best friend? No, even that too. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely the hell not.
No. Okay. No, you definitely don't date your mom's friend, and you definitely don't date your friend's mom.
Now, granted, if your mama's friend is roughly your age, because your mama decided to have like friends who are much younger than them, fine. But if we're talking about the mom's friend, if we're talking about the mom's best friend who watched you grow up, look, let me tell you something. I don't care how hot your mom's best friend looks. No.
Yeah, Lucy Liu.
No.
Not actual Lucy Liu. I mean, a character.
No, I know what show you're talking about. That show. I know which show you're talking about.
Again, only saw a clip of it on Reels, but.
But anyways, also another rule. Rule number 3: don't date your brother's ex-girlfriend, and don't date your sister's ex-boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
No. Hell no.
In a best case scenario, at least talk it out with your friend to like have their like.
Talk that. No. There's no talk because I'm sorry.
I'm saying in a best case scenario,
Mike. If you
in a best case scenario, it's not something I would personally hold on. It's not something I would personally do. It's not something I personally condone. But I'm saying, if you are bare minimum, not saying it'll be okay, but bare minimum, at least have the decency to let your friend know ahead of time. And then if they're cool with it, I still will respect you. But at least you owned up to it.
You nice. God forbid if my brother, if something like that happened with my brother and I come home and I find out that now my brother, my blood brother, is dating my ex-girlfriend, I'm going to.
I'm not talking about blood brother. I'm just talking about friends.
No. Friends, that's fine. You can talk it out with your friend. I mean, hey, look, I've been in a situation. I'm not going to say, but Mikey, you know, that's fine. I'm talking about blood brothers. Rudy's blood brother is now having relations with Rudy's ex-girlfriend. Again, if that happened in my household,
she dumped him because he just wanted to go to college.
I am going to fight. Someone
is going to run this thing.
Someone's going to run the fade. And I'm turning into straight up Yusuke Urameshi when I say that.
And I'm going to turn
Someone's
into
running the
Cosmo
fade.
Cool
I don't care
Bob.
who. So Rudy, after finding this out, is now focusing more on becoming a football player because at this point his family ain't crap. Finally, after 3 rejections, does get into Notre Dame High School. Notre Dame, University of Notre Dame. And keep in mind, earlier in the movie, he did talk to the coach. He talked to the head coach of the team. So so the head coach can remember who he is. Because the next scene, after he shows his dad the acceptance letter to Notre Dame and his punk brother, not the oldest brother, but the middle brother, who's always making fun of him and said, your dream ain't crap. The next scenes are him training to be part of the Notre Dame football team.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you see young Vince Vaughn. And Rudy, even though he's not part of the team yet, he's part of the practice team. He is giving it his all. And even the coach is like, if I can, he will tell every player that's going against him one-on-one, why can't you have the same heart Rudy has? Rudy is busting his ass to get on this team.
Mm-hmm.
And it's working part-time and making sure he has all his grades up. Why can't you be like him? And this is a walk-on. Now, for those who want to
know, it's like imagine JoJo Part 4 type of thing where it's like, look at Koichi like trying to join an American football team. The dude is really tiny and a total pushover, but he's standing up to a freaking serial killer who's also a freight train. Why can't you be like the majestic stallion Joseph Joestar and run?
So, first, I want to know because I did say I was going to explain this to you. So, what Rudy is a walk-on. He's a walk-on player trying to get onto the team. He does get onto the team. So the way a walk-on is if you don't during tryouts, especially tryouts when it comes to people who are about to get full-time, who are coming into a university with a scholarship and is trying and stuff like that. You have your scholarship kids who are coming in from high schools or even like junior colleges, like in JUCO and especially JUCO, in the JUCO areas and like the Midwest and stuff like that. They get first dibs on trying to get onto the team, trying to try out for the team, everything like that. And then you have your walk-ons. Your walk-ons are people who are like, yo, I just got to the school. I'm trying to find a team to be on. I'm trying to make it somewhere. Can I please try out for you? Mm-hmm. And another way, and I'm actually going to read this Wikipedia to help you. In American and Canadian college athletes, a walk-on is someone who becomes part of a college team without being recruited or rewarded an athletic scholarship. Walk-ons are generally viewed as weaker, less significant players and may not even be placed on an official depth chart or traveling team. So Rudy, again, it's a walk-on. He is not part of the team yet. He is then put on the team later on, especially even though he's not being played, he is helping the defensive teams and offensive teams help improve what they need to do. And the coach is like, look, Rudy, during your senior year, I'm going to play you. I'm going to play you. Don't worry about it. He then quits. And then the Green Bay Packers coach during the 70s is now the new coach of Notre Dame. He is about to cut Rudy. And meanwhile,
I don't do walk-ons.
Yeah.
Which is really stupid because, like cutting walk-ons is such a stupid concept in my opinion. Like no offense to like actual football coaches, but the thing is, you only have so many high schools and only so many colleges for like recruiters to look through, and only so many rosters and games. Like you might end up recruiting someone who's not that great of an athlete, but had one great game at just the right time, while completely ignoring like a true someone with genuine untapped potential, and just completely ignore them because they just weren't there when a recruiter showed up to that campus. And then when a walk-on does show up and they actually work their butts off to be on equal footing, basically, it's like saying Rock Lee could never become Hokage. Because,
exactly.
Yeah, like, or actually, more accurately, it's like saying that Might Guy could never become Hokage just because he doesn't use ninjutsu. Granted, he can, but he doesn't because he wants to make a point. He wants to make a point to his dad. He wants to make a point to Rock Lee that, hey, you don't need ninjutsu or genjutsu. You just need hard work. And keep in mind, Madara was like, you know what? Not counting Hashirama, this is you're the most fun opponent I've ever had in my entire life.
Oh,
he got acknowledged by the main villain.
Yeah, when Mike Guy went full riot mode, yeah.
Without using, oh, look at me, I could summon lightning, or look at me, I can breathe fire. Oh my, look at me, I could summon a bunch of clones of myself. No, this dude only like through hands, and he got acknowledged. Rudy could have been my guy if given the opportunity.
I mean, he does get the opportunity at the end of the movie, but all the players who have met Rudy and worked with Rudy and are better players because of Rudy go to the coach and they're like, listen, if you can't play Rudy, I quit the team. Almost the entire team quit because he didn't want to play Rudy. We'll get into the fact checks later. So, Mike, real quick, you tackle this?
Like what specifically?
We're getting to the finale because again, this movie's pretty short. Go ahead.
Okay. Like honestly, like I found it like really irritating that like, oh, he quit because like this dude cut him. And the thing is, I understand he's angry, but why quit? Like you worked so hard just to get here. And you know what I appreciate is how you got the priest, you got the janitor, and you know pretty much and even Jon Favreau, who hooked up with that nerdy chick that that was into him earlier in the movie. Like they're like, listen, you had dyslexia. You're a tiny dude. Everyone laughed at you when you were a kid. You got rejected by the priest in your high school. You got rejected by your friends, your family, your cow. And now you're making good grades at a good university. You are an alumnus at the university you wanted to apply for. Even if you don't have a football career, you can still make something of yourself with a degree, because back then a degree actually meant something. But you're upset because of this? What do you have to prove? You're already on the football team. You have your own jersey. Is that not enough? It's like watching that scene from Jungle Fury where Casey's about to confront Daishi one last time, and he's stopped by Master Mao. He's like, Casey, who are you trying to prove, yourself or Jared?
It's like, what the hell do you think?
Yeah. So but for me, it's and so game day. We're getting excited here.
Rudy.
Oh, wait. You love that time when Joel McHale was dressed up as Giles from Street Fighters.
Yes.
USA. He's like, no one there. He's like, USA.
You know what's funny? I remember Tara Strong was at a convention, and she saw Sean Astin, and in the Bubbles voice, Rudy. Yo, Yo, Tara Strong, if you listen to I might clip this. Yo, Tara Strong, we love you. Keep doing you, girl. Keep doing you. Very demure, apparently, what the kids like to say nowadays. Anyways, so Rudy's entire family is there, with the exception of the brother who's now having relations with his ex-girlfriend. Fortune's there. Happy is there with his girlfriend, and they're gonna watch him play. Right, Rudy. They did not put Rudy in until later on, and keep in mind, every player has been telling the coach, let Rudy play, and they're gonna have all the seniors play. And the coach kept saying, do not put Rudy in. And that's when we get the famous Rudy chant. And then after Notre Dame scores the final touchdown, there's about 30 seconds left into the fourth quarter. They then put Rudy in.
With a 21-point lead.
Yeah, as Georgia Tech is about to go on the offensive. And the final play of the game, Rudy stops the freaking running back and wins the game for everyone. And then they carry him off. And then the closing monologue, they say that no one has, since 1975, no one at Notre Dame has ever carried another player off the field the way they did with Rudy. And apparently, all of Rudy's little brothers,
all went to college and graduated.
Did get degrees at Notre Dame and graduate at Notre Dame. And that is the end of Rudy.
Honestly, it did feel a little anticlimactic towards the end. Yeah. Because it's like I was hoping that, I don't know, Rudy would do more than just tackle one dude. Maybe what if Rudy injured himself while doing that tackle at least, and we would have a dramatic UC scene, and then but then he pulls through, and then it's and then I was and they all carry his injured body. That would have been so much better. I get it. It's based on a true story. But I'm just saying, if you're going to hyperbolize for dramatic effect, why not, dig into that,
Speaking of dramatic effect, let's talk about some actual fit, but let's try and talk about the stuff that was real and what was not real.
Yeah, one thing that is interesting is that this was the first movie since 1940 to be filmed on location at Notre Dame.
Yes, that is true, and that's actually part of the trivia that I was going to talk about. But here's a few facts about this movie. So in real life, Dan Devine, who is the guy who was the coach, the final coach of for Rudy's year, was actually very supportive of Rudy and elected to put him in the game on his own because Devine considered Rudy a friend. He volunteered to play a villain in order to get the film greenlit. Yeah, that was the thing. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure Mr. Devine was I was making okay. Yep, that was true. Okay. Next. The thing where all the players were putting their jerseys down because they didn't want to play unless Rudy played, that was exaggerated. That was just for cinematic effect. In the movie, Rudy is portrayed as having largely gone into the steel industry after graduating high school. Here's the catch. In reality, he served 4 years in the United States Navy as a yeoman on a communication ship, which is never mentioned. So no, he didn't work in the steel mill. Yeah, he didn't really work in the steel mill. He went to the military after he graduated. Many of the priests and miscellaneous Notre Dame employees in the movie are actual Notre Dame employees. The crowd scene when Rudy is cheering in the stands is a real game between Notre Dame and Penn State, which was played in the snow during the 1992 season. You can even see fans with Penn State hats sitting around Rudy. According to Rudy, he has no brother named Frank in real life. The character of Frank is all the people who told Rudy he couldn't do it and rolled into one. Yeah.
It's kind of interesting finding out stuff like that because like if you've ever watched the Goldbergs,
yes,
Adam F. Goldberg actually had 2 older brothers,
mm-hmm.
but when they made the TV show, they kind of changed it so that the much older brother would be his sister instead. So he never had a sister, but they changed the firstborn brother into Erica, while Barry's still Barry.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's another kind of interesting thing about the series. But yeah, no, it's kind of. Oh, it's another time we talked about when people combined characters. When we did that review of what's that one movie, Scanner Darkly.
Yes,
they were like 2 completely separate characters. One who felt like he had bugs in his hair, and a completely different character who like took some substance D with some alcohol, and then he's hallucinating an alien. And in the movie version, they combine both characters where like the same character both feels like he has bugs in his hair and has delusions of aliens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll name a few. I'll do a few more facts real quick. So, among future NFL players who played in Notre Dame when Rudy was a senior was future Hall of Fame quarterback Joe Montana, who was a freshman at the time. The game, another one. The game film. No. While Rudy's real life service in the U.S. Navy is never mentioned in the film, the military duffel bag he carries in numerous scenes is stenciled with his name and USN. So that bag you see him carrying, that was his actual military bag. Wow. The actual Rudy's military bag. Yeah. According to the real life Rudy, the character Fortune, who Charles Astin was playing, was a combination of 3 different people that were helping him realize his dream of playing football for Notre Dame. The scene from the game in which Rudy actually plays, the jerseys of the players have the names of the actors and crew. Dan Devine was upset about the scene in which several players laid down their jerseys on his desk as a form of protest for not letting Rudy suit up for the upcoming Georgia Tech game. This is what I'm talking about. According to Devine, the incident never took place, and if it had, the players involved would have been booted off the team. And yeah, those are just a few, little pointers. I'm gonna go first for the likes and dislikes. I would say, the movie's a bit anticlimactic. And honestly, as for its time length, it really isn't that long of a movie, which is okay. I have no problem with that. I think when you're more and more movies back in the day, when you look at them, they may have felt like they were long, but they were short. Like, I know at one point we're gonna have to review Heat. Heat is 3 hours long, but honestly, those 3 hours fly by quick. I really like the movie. I enjoy Sean. I love Sean Astin as an actor. I think he's a great actor. I'm glad to see that this movie, more and more people are enjoying watching this movie. Looking at Charles S. Dutton, the Black All-Star himself. I want to go back and rewatch Rock all over again. So that's my take. Overall, there really is not that much I can complain about this movie, other than it would be Showtime with the Apollo if my brother had relations with my ex-girlfriend. There would be less talking and more fighting. That's all I will say about that. This movie's a classic through and through. And a great family film. Like, shoot, I watched it with my son. This movie is rated G, if I remember correctly, or rated P. It felt like a rated G movie. I watched it with my kid. He loved it. He was jumping up and down when they were chanting Rudy's name. This movie gets an 8 out of 10. A solid 8 out of 10. Very good movie.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's an 8 out of 10. It's like, I would say most of the film's strength is in its ensemble. Fantastic casting, and the character chemistry was really phenomenal. And yes, even props to the brother for being an asshole because it's not the actor, it's the character, and he did a great job playing a character that you love to hate. I respect that. Yeah, I was surprised to find as many like big names in this film as there were because I haven't seen a lot of people talk about Rudy. Like there might be a decent amount of people who might talk about, I don't know, The Mask or Baby Driver or Five Deadly Venoms or Kill Bill, Lord of the Rings, Mamma Mia, Deadpool, but like not a lot of talk about Rudy. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen anyone ever talk about Rudy. Like there might have been like adult comedy jokes about it, like maybe like some in the ballpark of Simpsons, Family Guy, Robot Chicken. Definitely Robot Chicken because there was a Siskel and Ebert skit.
Yeah, we watched it.
Yeah, and because like, dude, it had speed 3, okay? But yeah, no, it's yeah. So this was like a raw like a viewing experience. Yeah, again, I'm not big on football movies, but I respect what they tend to go for. And, I do intend on eventually watching more football movies over time, just not right away. Like I feel like we will have to watch Invincible at some point, or that one football movie with Keanu Reeves.
Remember the Titans.
Yes, Remember the Titans. I was going to get to that. Oh, and We Are Marshall.
Yes.
But all in due time, but I haven't watched that many movies about football and even fewer movies about baseball. Honestly, for me, as far as baseball goes, it's just Angels in the Outfield, Naked Gun, and Richie Rich.
Do you even watch the major leagues?
No.
Oh, okay.
Or Bad News Bears. Or Sandlot. I tried watching Sandlot too, but
No. Don't watch the sequels. Only watch the first movie.
All I remember about Sandlot 2 is that in the epilogue, the black kid got abducted by aliens. And they saw the movie The Great Escape. That's all I remember.
What? Give your grade. Hurry up.
Okay.
That just threw me off.
Okay. Anyway, so for me, this movie is an 8 out of 10. It's a good watch. Probably like one. Maybe I might revisit it like on an annual basis. Not quite on Thanksgiving, but maybe somewhere in the autumn season for sure. Maybe early December before the solstice happens.
Okay. And I have a little thing for you real quick since I talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm. I could barely hear it, but I'm good. I got the gist of it. Okay.
Anyways. All right. Let's throw some pigskin around. The little hobbit that could. Oh man. For real though, Commodore right. Watkins needs a fair shake. Yeah, you're right about that. Rudy. Can we CGI a Thanksgiving turkey into the booster clubs and see just to make a film efficient? You know what? Yeah, why don't we? Imagine if they showed the true version with the Navy instead of the steel mill. Yeah, I mean, and last time I checked, I don't think Dan Ruettiger saw combat, so I think that would be okay if we did that. And then, oh man, Scanner Darkly was a fun. I have a feeling we're gonna be doing another Keanu month at some point. So
yeah. Anyway, and also plus we generally should revisit like all of our older movies that we did in the Scrub Club just so that we could like transfer them over here.
Yeah. Anyways, Guys, thank you so much. Thank you for staying up late in the East Coast. I know it's like 1 something in the morning, but we are outie. Thank you guys so much. Be sure to check out Rudy. It's on. If you are subscribed to Sling like I am, watch it.
It's also on I think Peacock or Philos.
I try Philo. It's on Philo and Sling. It's not on Peacock. I looked.
All I know is that I had to rent it on YouTube. So
it's free on YouTube. Well, that was last year. Never mind.
No. Right now it's a $4 rental. So are a lot of sports movies apparently right now. I wish it was free on YouTube with ads, like Tubi, but no, that's not the case. Yeah, Four Brothers was free to watch. With ads. Prime. Yeah. So yeah. Thankfully, the other two movies we're gonna do soon. Well, let's just say we're not gonna have any problems watching those two movies. We're not gonna have any problems watching those two movies, and both of those movies will be appropriately timed because one we're gonna do on Wednesday of next week, and the other just before Thanksgiving, and the other we're gonna do on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. Also appropriately timed for, shall we say, reasons.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway. And those two movies will close off our November watch list. December, we're going to do some Christmas films. We haven't decided yet what those movies are. We have some ideas, but we'll let you guys know when we have our finalized list and schedule for those movies. But until then, be sure to comment, like, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon, stay notified for our latest videos. Also, if you want to follow our personal content, you can find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto.
And you can find me on Twitter Twitter X, or whatever you want to call it, Instagram @Rex_Fox, and twitch.tv/RecklessFox as well. I'm going to be talking to Ryan about maybe potentially putting Buttery Show on TikTok, and also because I'm working on shorts for both this and Morphin Network. So we'll stay tuned on that. So
yeah, and of course, check out our sister channel, the Morphin Network, where we discuss all things Tokusatsu. We do Ultraman Arc, Kamen Rider Gav, Bakuaga Sentai Boom Boomger, and Kamen Rider Guide, which our next video is going to be this Sunday. And we have some Morphicon interviews. Most recently,
coming up soon. Yeah, coming up this weekend. So yeah,
nice. Can't wait. And I think that's everything. Yeah. With that said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to stay safe, stay hydrated, up to your emergency kits, hug your loved ones, and make sure that you don't overdo it with the Thanksgiving turkey. And more importantly, make sure you stay safe on the Centennial shopping games. So may the prices be ever in your favor. And with all that said, have a good one. We'll see you again next week with 2 more awesome films to celebrate the season of gratitude. Have a good one. Peace.
Rudy.